Let's begin with this chat about American income. We, the people, don't make a lot of money. We don't make any money. It is crazy how so many people fail to see the root cause of the problem, and it's the lack of income. To go ahead and think about this, because the average income in this country, more than half the people make less than 35,000 per year. That's the problem. Also, for you kids and kiddos, let me go ahead and put this out here. Labor Day sale going on right now at hustlerskungfulifeskills.com. Just go ahead and jump in there, get 55%. The code is Money Lessons. The link, the code and everything is below the stream. So this sale goes on until Labor Day. You can get in right now, save yourself 55%. So let's talk about this income problem. And it's a huge, huge problem. Because one of the things that I did is I did a little research following up on last night's stream. Do you know that most hard money lenders charge between 10 and 18%? So typically, you could get 1 to 2 mortgages in your name, and after that, you're going to have to get into some private money, which is going to carry a much higher interest rate. Because you got to think about it. You got money sitting aside. Are you really going to let somebody borrow money for 3 years? And also, a lot of stuff is short term. But you going to let somebody do 30 years as a hard money lender at 3 or 4%? It ain't really worth it, because this is your money and you're only getting half. Because inflation is 1.9%. So if you got this money out for 3%, you're only getting like 1.1% actual additional money. That's your profit. It's not very exciting, but you're charging 10% and 1.9 inflation. You're still with 8.1, or you charge 18%. Inflation don't matter at those interest rates. And this is one of the things that isn't discussed by the people who come out because there's a lot of supposition, or I know a guy, and it's never the person who is, unless it's me, because I talk about what I actually do. But essentially, most of the folks online are always talking about what someone else do or what they heard. And it's very interesting. But with those interest rates, I would still I would cash flow better with one property than I would have 5. And this is one of the things. Someone said real estate is a beast. And there's a lot of people who've lost their shirts on real estate. So it sounds simple to do this, but it's not simple unless you have high skill levels. What's up, people? Why you want to know about a family limited partnership? You're getting off into all this esoteric stuff. A family limited partnership is very much like a trust. Essentially, the family's pooling money together. I mean, I would just do a regular LLC. That's just me. Because I could do a family limited trust because my daughter owns most of this company, but that just made no sense to me. I plan on renting. Because, once again, Airbnb, and I've looked at it, Airbnb typically, because there's a lot of questions that have to be answered about that. Because I would have to rent out the whole house. And if this was like a vacation spot, that would be for the win. I mean, you get in these vacation spots like these 2-bedroom condos renting out for $275 a night. So they get 10 nights like that. That's pretty much more than they would get for rent for the same thing. So, it just depends. But I'm going for rentals. I'm going for the long term. But let's talk about income. And one of the things that everybody should be doing here is trying to increase their income. Let's say you have typical American income, and we're going to put this in the red. You're making $32,000 to $50,000 per year. So the first thing you need to do, first step, is money management. Very important. So what you need to do is manage this very, very well before you started making additional income. So that's the first step. And with the Labor Day sale, you can get the money management course for 55% off. Just letting you guys know that. Then the second step is to make more money. And you want to try to increase your income 25% to 50%. So, 25% of 32,000, it's going to be $8,000. 25% of 50,000 is going to be $12,000. That's essentially going to get your taxes back. And this is why, because I'm telling you this based upon the stuff that I have seen that happens. Let's see what we got going on here. Family limited partner has many nuances, different, especially the distribution upon dissolution. LLC is better, former treasurer. Like I said, I would do an LLC because I could do a family limited trust. But one of the things is people are looking for the best bang for their buck. And that's just a traditional LLC. All right, so you want to drastically increase your income. So one of the things you could do that can do this, that won't take a lot of money, is reselling. Reselling will allow you to turn $1 to $50. That's the power of reselling. And that's one of the things. Number 2, start a content marketing business. That's what I do. create loads of content to sell products. So that's one of the things. Morning, got off my gig at 7, hit up 2 yard sales so far. About to post this stuff. I cleaned up, spent $34. One item is going to get me some money. Cool. Because essentially, for most people, you need to start off with something that you can handle. Because you get people like, the family limited partnership question. You should have, if you don't even have your first LLC, you haven't even really scratched the surface of business. And this is one of the things that kills people. They try to go ahead and do something very complex before they get the skills. And this is how people end up losing money. But, your first step is to manage your money very well. Your second step is to make 25 to 50% more income. Now, what's going to happen is, let's just go ahead and get rid of that. You want to maintain this for 2 to 3 years. Now, what does this do? This creates a habit. This creates good practices. Black Caesar. Coach G, I was listening to yesterday's podcast. It stated that you're looking to rent to people like yourself. Question, if you're wealthy, why would they rent? Last place I lived, there was an anesthesiologist who was renting because he was building a house. There were several people who were building to be close to their job. Traditionally, there's a lot of people who would rent because of job. There's so many reasons. Benny Glendon, why are so many people, young men, not into making money? Yet they spend huge amounts of time on things like gaming. I had posted how this guy actually had to drop out of college because he was gaming so hard. A lot of men are they have no leadership abilities. They have no leaders. They're not self-governing. They just kind of sitting around wasting time. So, because like one of my plans is I'm going to rent where I live, but I'm going to own rental properties. Gives me a lot of flexibility. Benny, I brought up making money and get weird looks or just a lot of hate. I'm not going to waste my time working. Many people don't feel that they can improve their lives. There's a lot of out-of-state traveling doctors and nurses that rent places for 3 to 6 months. And Benny, yeah, there's no drive. The median household income is $58,000, not single person income. Because you go to Google and you put in household income. That's household income. That is not single person income. So once you've gone ahead and did the first thing and you maintained, then your goal is to increase your income (25% to 50% again. So what this does is allow you to get used to making money. One of the reasons there are so many poor people practices, the whole, like if you had 200K, instead of buying one house cash and renting it out, you would leverage that into 5 houses. This is how people end up losing stuff, because you got 5 houses, which means you'll need 5 renters, You'll need 5 renters paying on time. That could happen. But if anything happens, going back to hard money lending, they're going to be hitting you over the head for 10 to 18%. A lot of these loans are short-term rehab loans where you're only paying interest only for a year, and that's their profit, and then you got to pay them back. The gap is getting even bigger. Patrick Hale, a lot of people are just lazy, man. I mean, a lot of people are just really lazy because, once again, what I'm laying out here is what I did. Because the first thing that I had to learn how to do after this living in the boarding house was learn how to manage money. That was the first thing. Because money is energy. And once you get in the habit of keeping money, it attracts more money. This is why you can't be living that broke lifestyle where you're blowing all your money. Like if I was spending $100,000 a month to live, taking all these trips, sponsoring some hoes, I would be so disappointed in myself. And this is one of the things I learned from the storage auction business was the number of people who were making good money, but they were making $50,000 a month, but they were spending $65,000. They were spending $70,000, $80,000 a month and having this carrying cost of using credit cards and loans to keep. It's ridiculous. If I had a son who got drafted in the NFL, I would sit down with my son and say, look, you just signed this $13 million contract. You're about to get $6 million up front. They're going to hit you over the head with a large tax thing. But what you going to do, my son, is live on a budget. You're going to live on $150,000 a year. And you're going to pay cash for your car. And you're going to pay cash for your house. You ain't going to have all these bills. This is what I would tell him. And a lot of people out here just have no one in their corner to say, hey, this is what you should do with the money. Because everybody's like, whoa, he got money, he got drafted, he rich, he balling out of control. Whee! And there are not people in your corner to tell you to be prudent, to tell you how to manage your money. Benny, I rent. My landlord has the ultimate plan. She rents out her back apartments that cover her mortgage over her home. Okay. I mean, Quentin, this is what a lot of dudes will get with money. Because I remember listening to my aunts. Like, if you didn't know, and I don't think I've talked about this, half of my family was like the Cosby family. And I remember my Aunt Inez was saying, girl, watch him and his money. Because she say, when men get money, they want to do foolish things like take care of another woman. And, that the income thing, because, I'm doing a lot of research for Disruptive Male. And I've gotten on plenty of fish. And these chicks don't make no money, man. Most of these hoes are broke. All they got is that. All they got is that thing. All they got is that coochie, man. That's all they have. They don't have a career. I'm just sitting there like, good Lord. New Jersey. I drive trucks. Is there a recommendation for a business to start while on the road? It's kind of difficult, or should I wait to find a local job? New Jersey. I've had a lot of truckers ask this question. You need to find something that you can do on the road. Maybe you can do a blog. Maybe you could do a YouTube channel. Maybe you can do some drop shipping, because typically what I find out is that when truck drivers come off the road and get something local, their income goes down. Jabras, that's what they do, man. Benny, save and invest. Hard to think about that at 20. And this is why, if I had a son, I would say this is what you're going to do, because, your time in the NFL is going to be very short. If you get 10 years, that's awesome. But this money will set you up for the rest of your life. Quentin Jackson, my dad thinks that because I got money saved, I should be giving him some. Really? Your dad thinks like that? That's crazy. Benny, my uncle got $3 million from a settlement years ago. He was driving an 80K Mercedes. A week later, $70 massages a day. That's what I call the thirst. When you don't have money, when you can't live life the way that you want to live, you have all this pent up thirst of things you want to do. So when you get money, the thirst starts sucking up that money. I've seen this happen. Like there was a girl in the West End. Her mother had died. Her grandma had died or something, and she got a lot of money. Week later, she's driving a BMW M3 in the hood. She had her drug dealer boyfriend. They were going out, they were partying, they were living a good life. This went on for about 6 months, and it came to a stop because she ran out of money. So the money that her grandmother took a lifetime to build, she went through in 6 months. It was sad. Let's see. Quentin Jackson, POF chicks are broke. Seriously. I have not seen such brokenness. Because I was talking to this one chick, and we were supposed to go out. But she let me know that she was renting a room from a dude in his house. And I was like, you renting a room? Ooh, that completely turned me off. Herbert Scott, 30 for 30 broke was the best psychological examination of American men and money. We're bred to trick and blow money. Got to force your staff to stack and be humble. Yeah, because 30 for 30, I think Jamal Mashburn, $100 million pissed away. Anthony, most of these folks don't have drive. There's something in the water. Benny, I've been talking about that. The recession is on lock. Recession locked in. Trav, I agree with laziness. Got 4 jobs right now, trying to see if I can get a 5th. Got to see $1 million come from poverty. I want to go back. People in my family ask why I work so hard. Got nothing to say. If someone is sitting back looking at you grind, and they're going to ask you why you're doing what you're doing, you need to separate yourself from that person. Because, like, for me, I was homeless. I lived in that boarding house. I'm never going back. Everything I do is to put as much distance between me and that experience. And I got a lot, because once I get in this real estate thing, my wealth will be on lock. It's very interesting. Herbert Scott, I'm about to go over the road. Yeah, for you truckers, you guys have got to learn how to run an online business in the truck. That's one of the things you got to do. Black Caesar, I got my credit cards had $1,000 limit. Haven't used it in over a year. Yesterday I received a letter from bank to issue the card. They raised the limit to 10,000. Confused. Don't be confused. You get more credit when you don't use credit. When you start using credit, this is when the banks get spooked out. Josh Barr, over the road truckers need to stack cash and think. Once your experience goes up, go local and execute on your plan. Benny, yeah, he was a bus driver and had nothing. The money tore our family apart. See, this is one of the things, and this is why when I get these people who come in with what I call wealth vanity or wealth assumption tales, because I went back to that guy on the Facebook page and I asked him, do you have any rental properties? Do you have the ability to create this kind of cash flow? He hasn't answered those questions, because the answer to those questions is no, he can't do that. Quentin Jackson, yeah, my family's got some major money issues. 3 generations under one roof, and my grandma's paying all the bills on her Social Security check. They pimping your grandma out like she a hoe? Good Lord. Amanda, Quentin, I believe you hands down to have a mother like that. This is one of the big issues, and my mom and I had this problem. My mom looked at my income as an extension of her income because I was her son. And I remember saying, I was like, look, I'm your son. I'm not your man. And she didn't, we just had this weird relationship until she died, where I kind of had her at arm's length because I developed a fundamental understanding that I was not going to ever be free to be me unless I separated from them. And this is one of the things that you see with hood families is like you got a smart kid, an enterprising kid, and everybody latches on to this kid where it's like his money is community money. And, I have a daughter, and I tell her, I said, my job's to raise you. Your job isn't to take care of me. So these bad mamas and daddies who are, it's just rough. JD Gamer, I know a girl that got a couple of million for a lawsuit 2 years ago, and she's broke now. Misuse, the lack of proper management, money management protocols. Herbert Scott, I'm sitting in the truckers lounge right now. Everyone's bragging on strip clubs and casinos they go to. Not happening here. I'm running and stacking. I had lunch with a friend, and that came up. The last time I went to a strip club was him, like 7-8 years ago. I just don't see the point in doing that. Jim Rollins, someone hands you $1 million, best you become a millionaire or you won't get to keep the money. Means millionaires have a mindset that most people don't have. Amanda and Quentin, this is one of the things that happens with ghetto and hood culture, that instead of the parents going out and doing their dream, living life and passing these lessons on, it's very parasitic what they're doing to that woman. A woman told me that despite automation, AI, we will find a way to make money just like after the Great Depression. And I'm like, that would defeat the whole purpose of automation of jobs. And this is one of the things that's going to happen with this next recession. We're going to go into this recession, and a lot of jobs that are lost because of the recession will be replaced with automation. They're never coming back. Like someone pointed out, You go to McDonald's, they got a kiosk right there where you can go hit that kiosk and don't even have to talk to a cashier. Oh man, you got generations, man, living under the same roof. That post yesterday was funny. First off, dude was talking about investing in CDs. My side hustle throws off more money than that. Quentin, this is what I'm saying. Everybody can benefit from a small business. A small business is going to give you more consistent monthly income or weekly income, more so than Bitcoin, CDs, or some of these other poor people investments. Because, you know, when I talk to my friends, because this real estate thing was a way for me to invest money and make money, because a 401k does nothing for me. A Roth IRA does nothing for me at this income level. I mean, it's just, I could do it and it'll be okay, but it really doesn't move the needle. So creating a company, creating a holding company, investing in real estate, that moves the needle. Many strip clubs are a waste of money. Quentin, I never been to a strip club. I get free picks in action on the regular. Thanks for the $2 super chat. The thing with truckers is y'all are in such a weird position, because if you come off the road, your income goes down. And unless you have a plan to make more money that's going to work really quick, a lot of y'all just can't take that hit. Benny, I never knew that happens in the inner city. That's sad. Man, this is common. Like, one of the things that happened with me, and because my mother had low income, was I felt that I wasn't being challenged in my high school. So I enrolled in a private high school and I got a job to pay for it. And my mother was looking at my money should be going to the family versus me doing what I needed to do. And this is one of the things, because I knew my mother was wrong at an early age and I refused to accept a lot of her indoctrination. But many folks are indoctrinated with this BS. Why are you working so hard? Relax. Smoke a little bud. Drink a little beer. Hang out with us. Sit around and do nothing. I have no friends like that. None. Really? Pumping gas? That's crazy. That is crazy. All right. So this is the second stage. Once you have established good money habits, you're not running out of money, you're easily able to pay your bills, you're able to save money. Then this is when you push to increase your income another 25 to 50%. And this is where we introduce a side hustle. Small business. And your goal is $1,000 a month minimum. That's the floor. So you want to get a side hustle small business that will break you off $1,000 a month. And then over the next 2-3 years, you're going to scale that to 5,000 to 10,000 per month. And this is where stuff starts to change, because you're already managing your money well. You have a situation where the money starts to stack. You start to see the gains. You start to feel the gains. You look in your checking account month after month, the number goes up, and you'll be ready to get into some other stuff. I don't think he will be POTUS either, Benny. Glendon, I'm going through that right now. Literally, no family that grinds. Everyone is on the woe is me BS. Trav. Be a beacon, be a light, be something, be an example to some members of your family, because there's some people that was not going to get it. I remember I was dating this hood rat, and she was an educated hood rat. And, you know, I started to indoctrinate her and put her on the right path. I remember her 40-something, 48-year-old uncle called her up and was begging for $20. It was one of the most distasteful things I've ever said. He was begging for $20. $20. And he was a grifter and a scam artist. It was sad. Thanks, Marcus Smith, for the $3 super chat. What's up, Stefan? Thanks for the $10 super chat connections. I'm 26. I have $27K in the RA. I have student debt of $20K. Should I just save the money and pay off the debt with my current side hustle, or pay off the debt entirely with the RRA? I would not mess with the money in the RRA because of your age. You 26. I mean, if you didn't add any more money to that in 20 years, that should be like 300, 400K just letting it sit. So because you've done a good job of stacking this 27, don't disturb that money. You should pay your student loan debt with your side hustle, because that's active income that you can scale up and you have way more control over. Amanda P., what are your views on people with Social Security disability as the recession hits? They're going to keep living. They're going to keep getting that check. But that's someplace I wouldn't want to be. You know, they will continue to get that check. They will continue to live their lives. But things will get more expensive because inflation is real. Now, we're into this about, 4 or 5 years on this. So if you can make between $10,000 and $15,000 per month, that's a game changer. And I feel that everybody can get there. I feel that everyone can start a small business, side hustle, and within 3 to 5 years, you could be at 10 to 15K per month by your damn self. First of all, you got to manage your money very well. And then you just set yourself up really nice. Benny, I watched Dave Ramsey. People call in with $300K in student loan debt. That's insidious. This is why, I'm like, go out and make that money. Herbert Scott, I don't mind giving family a few dollars, but even then I pretend like it's my last, like I'll be late on the bill. They usually pay me back quicker than they agreed that way. That's funny, man. Fortunately, I don't have any family members who are asking me for any money. I don't have that situation because most of the family that I talk to, they got money. They already good. They don't need to borrow 10, 20, 100. They good. So fortunately for me, I have that situation. Paul Brown, I know several older people that have poor money management and daily play lottery and make poor financial decisions. In no way prepared for the future, many hard days ahead of them. I don't play the lottery. I feel it is a waste of money. But many people play the lottery. Many people gamble because they like to do it. And gambling to me is like going to a strip club. Same kind of thing. Because what you do is you go in, you deposit money into this situation, and you walk out, leaving the money there. You're not going to beat the house in Vegas, man. Old people in lotto, sad reality. This is the American income story. People are indoctrinated in a culture of debt from high school going to college. That's your first introduction. We're going to sign up for all these student loans, and you immediately go into debt. But you kind of like halfway sleep because you're getting this money and you're so young, you don't really realize just what you've done. You have no clue to how bad it is. My uncle was spray painting his sneakers, wore old shorts from the 80s, and was addicted to the lotto. He came over and begged for money for the lotto. He was in his late 70s. See, this is something else too that happens to people. If you don't use your brain, you lose your brain. And I see a lot of people who used to be pretty smart and they let their faculties go and they started doing stupid stuff and they started sounding like Trump. It is crazy. I don't even do that, Herbert, because I know the odds of winning are so slim. And, I may go buy a lottery ticket today to see what that feels like. It's been so long. All right, so let's get back to this example. All right, so when you get to this level here, that's the game changer. This is when your life, you have more money than you need, and this is when you can start investing. You have no debt. So you can start, you have no debt, you have high cash flow. You can start getting into investments because once again, it's about getting your cash flow up because the American income story is very sad. And this is why OPM, other people's money, is so pervasive because people don't make their own money. We talking about making money, man. Whether your hustle is online or offline, because since I'm running Facebook ads, I check out everyone's ads on Facebook, and right now the big push is how to start an online business, how to make all this money, and they're skipping over all of the basics because many people, the money problem is they have bad spending habits. Before you start a business, before you start bringing more money into your life, you got to straighten up your spending. You have so many people who are living with the basic American income of $32K to $50K that they don't even know what to do with real money. And this is why this guy hit me over the head like that with this other. Well, instead of buying one property, go out and get 5. And, once you dive into the math and you look at the numbers, this one house, which is cash flowing at, $2,200 a month, makes more money than these other properties when you take all the fees into account. So on paper, it looks like you balling out of control. But the reality is you're not. It's wild. So many people are in this situation. So many people are in a situation where they're not making money, they have no money, and they don't prepare to make money. Because many people have not prepared themselves to make any money. I think more people could be successful online if they would position themselves to be successful. And I think a lot of people don't really look at the reality of making money. Because getting money is a habit, having money is a habit. And people have not developed these good habits. Because I want you to think about, you make no money, all your friends make no money. Once you start making money, you may have to change friends. Because if you got a whole bunch of people around you like, can I borrow $20 to payday? I want you to really think about that statement. It's Monday, can I borrow $20 to payday, and payday's Friday? I remember this guy who used to be a loan shark in the military. He made so much money loaning these guys money. And then he would on payday, y'all got to come see me. And payday, you go to his room, he got all this cash stacked up on his dresser. Loan sharking in the military. Most people, Benny, were not taught about money. How many of you had your parents sit down and say, this is how you balance a checkbook? How many of you had that? I talk about money anywhere, anytime, any place. It just depends on who I'm talking to. It depends upon, it just depends. Because I didn't get a formal education in money management because I didn't take home ec, but we had people who did. Home ec is where a lot of people learned about this stuff. Home economics, man. And it's crazy. You got people out here who are living this dangerous life with no parachute, no safeguards, nothing. They just out here living. You got to start stacking some money. Benny, most parents are spenders, so their children become suspenders. With a surprise, I know. Brit Falls, I've been shown one time. It's very crazy, but learn it on your own. Rod, for real estate, nor do they teach us how to put it to work when they get some. Because, everybody can get money. You go out and do a little work, you get some money. A few people can save money. And then when you get to the point where you can start making your money work for you, that's a small classification of the American public. Because, I was listening to Dave Ramsey, and I'm going to switch where I'm putting my money for the real estate because he has his money in some index fund. And whenever he wants to get a piece of property, he takes it out the index fund because the money's sitting there. Because, I've been saving most of this year, and the money's in a bank account. So my expectations is to pull the trigger in December, January. Black Caesar, I don't have my side hustle up and running, but since I start following Glenn, I'm beast on saving and managing my money. That's the first step. Before you make any more money, you got to go ahead and optimize the money you having in to the best of your ability. Because this is, this happens, you get these infusions of new money, and people, because they don't have a plan, they don't have any action, the money just gets absorbed into the lifestyle creep. I use Shanab. Sounds like a good program for budgeting. Main concept is every dollar gets a job. That's cool. Like, my accounting is pretty simple because I'm dealing with buckets. Because one of the things that you have to do is stop creating bills. Like, I'm very mindful of my subscriptions. I'm very mindful of any new bill I created and any new obligation, because you got people out here making $32K a year, and they've got 35, 40, 60 debits coming out their check, from like a little magazine subscription over here to an online subscription here to a gym membership. They have all of this stuff and they haven't really looked at it. It's sad, because one of the things about getting wealthy in America, if you start from the bottom, you're going to have to do things differently versus somebody that gets a serious hand up, get some serious help. If you out here by yourself, you got to save money. You got to manage your money very well. That is critical, because once you develop good money habits, then cranking up your income will be able to benefit you, because your money isn't like, phew. A lot of people's checking account is like a lunch pad. Money comes in, bam, it bounces out. Bam, it bounces out. These checking accounts never appreciate. They never see any large sums because they just get hit. So one of the things you have to do is cut down on the subscriptions, cut down on the monthly payments, and be very mindful of your money. Because once you get this down, then your business, any money it makes, you'll be able to see it. Because the power of a budget, like depending on how you get paid, if you get paid every other week, there's a few months in the year where you get paid 3 times per month. If you're on budget, those months that you get paid 3 times, you should be able to bank all of that third check if you have a budget. Now, you don't have a budget, money just gets spent. Britt Falls, how about investing in your money? What's the best time to do it? First of all, if you're going to become an investor, you need to be debt free. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to feed paying off this debt, and you're trying to feed your investments. So before you get in any type of investment, you should be debt free, because this is when you get to see the real gains, because you're not putting money over here. You got money going to Macy's. You got money, should be debt free. Herbert Scott, I did a lot of reading about money, but I didn't get it right until I addressed my behaviors with money. Habits and idle running money, spending stuff out, eating out was killing me. Eating out, I eat out a lot. I spend out probably like $600, $700 a month eating out. But my budget can withstand that hit because it's not a significant part. But if you're making like $30K a year and you bring it home $2,500, $600, $700, that's a budget breaker. A serious budget breaker. I stopped a lot of my subscriptions because at first, let's see, they didn't seem like much, but they creep up on you, and before you know it's a lot of money and you're going in your monthly. I know somebody right now who has a subscription to a kickboxing gym that they don't go to, that they spend $130 a month. And she has all kind of other stuff. Benny, I know dudes who bitch about the money and they smoke 1 or 2 packs a day. And that's another area that you can really start working on. Like if you got a bad habit like smoking or drugs, getting rid of that bad habit will give you so much money. It will open up doors. So let's see. All right, so this is the sweet spot. Invest when you are debt free. That's when you should start investing your money. Number 1. 2, study your investments. Don't just put your money in something because somebody told you to. Hey man, there's this new thing out there called Bitcoin. And you'd be good to put your money in that. Oh, I don't have no money in it. I'm just telling you, man, this is what people with money do. This is what the smart money do. They doing Bitcoin. Not really. So you should study your investments. You should be intentional about your investment. A lot of people want to do everything passively. But when you become intentional, it's a different energy level. It's a different game. Then you track your investments. You should also set goals. So you should be setting financial goals. Very important. Rob for real estate. Jill's shopping helps stretch the funds. I just renewed my gym membership, paid in full, got 18 months, and paid less than 2 months of CrossFit membership. And that's another thing too that I started to do was pay in full, like car insurance and all this other stuff. I just go ahead and pay for it all at once. So, because I don't have all these little monthly bills. I don't like that. Do you have any resources for time management? The Power of 6 at Hustler's Mindset. Trav, I put 100 in the stash weekly. The main gig money, I don't touch it. Let it stack in the high yield savings. The second gig pays the bill. The third gig is for investment. The fourth is for savings and goals. So you went out and created 4 streams of income to handle your financial ambition. Ben, man, that is funny. Done with gyms, all body weight and running. Well, I went out and bought the equipment, and I've got a gym in the house. Black Caesar, look at both my niece and her boyfriend's bank statements. They're millennials who have no discipline with their money. I was like, good Lord, you guys gave the majority of your money to Uber Eats. This is some stuff that people do because they like to be comfortable. They don't like to be uncomfortable. And the uncomfort is where the money comes from. I mean, this is the big deal. But typical American income 32 to 50K a year. With inflation, and I think there's a few years inflation was really high. Uber Eats is a killer. I laugh inside every time I hear someone using it. That's funny. So you got to manage your money. I don't know how many times I can say that. You got to manage the money that you currently have coming in, optimize that to the best ability, then make more money. Because what'll happen is if you start making more money, because we had entrepreneurs who commented on here, and one dude, he had a painting business, he was making like $1,600 a month, but his child daycare was $1,400 a month, and they was paying that out of the business proceeds. So essentially, he's stuck there. So that's one of the things. Yeah, I'm going to get into that gym today because I'm starting the new workout program because I lost all my muscle in the hospital. All right, so I'm getting ready to wrap this up. Once again, we're having a Labor Day sale. Go to hustlerskungfulifeskills.com. Use money lessons as your promo code. It is below the stream. And go ahead and start making some more money, man. Go ahead. So with that, I will see you guys later.